you just a few of my stretches that I like to do. Loosen up some of those joints, and you'll be able to generate more power with your strike. So come here with me. Just some beginner stretches that you already know, okay? Right arm over, left arm, and pull it in tight, okay? Reach down for your toes. Get in your stance with the right leg down and lean on it. Keep your back straight like this, postured up. Go down to the other leg. 5, 4. Bring your right arm back, behind you, and pull down. Right leg over, or left leg, whichever you want to start off with. And what you want to do is look all the way back, as far as you can. That's how you get the best out of the stretch. What do you feel more comfortable with? Are you an orthodox or are you a southpaw?
So it's funny, like naturally, yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Do you feel more comfortable with the southpaw?
Yeah.
All right, so then we're gonna work on southpaw. So then you bring it over about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then you bring it up. Then start going through your fingers, all of the fingers. So what we're gonna work on is a jab, a 2, and a 3 for today. And we're gonna work on your angles and movement, some basic fundamentals. Get in your stance first, right? So stance, you keep the right leg slightly bent. You keep your hands up like this. Start coming forward with a little step. Step, come forward. Step, come forward. You're able to keep the distance, close the distance, move in and out, exactly. And keep those hands up. Always keep the hands up. Right about here, okay? And then that's when you're able to move and create space, distance, and angle. So you come in front, right? Exactly. Come, come, come. Now step back. Step back, exactly. You step back, it's gonna be like this. Boom, boom. Stepping back. If I wanna be able to turn, the point of having this leg bent forward is so I can twist out. Shift. Exactly. Exactly. So when you come, stand next to me, forward, step. Step. Twist the back foot. That's how you create the angle. And I'm coming forward. Put the hands up. Keep those hands up. Back. Come forward. Step back. Cut the angle. There you go. There you go. Cut the angle. Go. Exactly. See how you're starting to cut the angle and stuff? It's slight little things, basics. You know, keeping that leg forward, cutting the angle. Okay? Boom. I can literally shift to wherever I want to go. So if my enemy wants to get off to the side, go around me, that's when I will shift. Okay? Shift. Shift. Pivoting that back leg. That's all I'm doing. It's a simple coming forward, shifting back. Coming forward, shifting back. Come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Step back. Step back. Step back. Cut the corner. Drop. Go back. Cut the back leg. There you go. Now you're able to cut angles. Wherever the person goes, you're able to cut and see where they go. It's literally like a dance, you know? You're following me and I'm leading, you know? Boom. Exactly. First strike I want to teach you is a jab. With the jab, right? Pretty much what you're doing is you're leaning forward and you're extending your arm, exactly, while keeping this hand up to protect yourself. You're in your stance, hands up, jab, extended, jab, jab. Jab is one of the most significant strikes in the entire game of fighting. You can lead everything off with a jab and you can keep your distance, okay? So get in your stance, jab, perfect, jab, there you go, jab. So if you want to go jab, jab, boom, boom, jab, jab. I'm gonna incorporate the angle cutting, coming forward, moving back, and the jab. All right, cool, come here. Get in your stance, hands up, right? Come forward, jab. There you go, move back, jab. Come forward, jab. Hands up. And like I said, what I wanna see you do is stay very tight. Come forward with a jab. 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 Start off with that and I'll move you to the next series. Forward, hands up. Good job. Jab. Jab. There you go. Step. Shoot. Good. double jab. Back up, step back, cut the angle. Now that you're starting to get the jab down, what I want to see is jab and start moving a little bit, like that, okay? Take your time, jab, dip side to side, and that's just to get your head off the line so that I can't attack you. Come forward, jab. There you go. Jab. Perfect, Reggie. Jab. Back pivot. Jab. Jab. Perfect. I like that. Keep the head movement going. There you go. Cut the angle. Jab. You don't want the guard to come down. You want to keep them hands up. Never let the hands drop, okay? Keep them up at all times. At all times. Protect and defend yourself at all times. Extend it out. Jab. Perfect, Reggie. That was perfect. Go. Jab, jab. Perfect, Reggie. Jab. Come forward. Exactly. Come forward. Pivot. Go. Jab. Jab. All right, good. I like your jab. It's perfect. You're snapping it out and you're keeping your hands up. Good job. Now, what I want to see with the jab, I want you to follow through with the two. The two, you go the jab. With the two, you're going to pivot your hip, and that's where all the power comes from. All power comes from the hip. So whether it's a kick, power from the hips. Hips, okay? With the strike, with the two, hips. So if I go jab, two, it's as if like I'm literally throwing a baseball, okay? I'm generating my power with the hip. With the hip. Bring it back, two. Okay? And with the two, yes, it's a cross. Right. It's not a hook, it's a straight. Right. Two. Hands up. Good job. Give me a jab. Bring it back. Give me a two. Perfect, Reggie. Like I said, just stay up more right, okay? Boom. Stay a little bit lower. Boom. 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 And turn that hip. That's where you'll get the power, and you'll hear it too. It'll sound like a gunshot. So take your time, jab. Perfect. Two. Perfect. There you go. One. Bring it back. Two. Pivot. There you go. And that was the angles you were talking about with the footwork. Yeah. That's where the footwork will come in. It'll come in off of that front foot. That's when you hip. And when you see people moving and stuff like this, they're simply just going around moving. See? Okay? But that's where the footwork will come in. Okay? But it begins from this. Okay? Jab. Jab. Two. Perfect. Come forward. Come forward. Move back. Jab. Back. Jab. Perfect. Pivot. There you go. Two. Perfect. Jab. Come forward. Jab. Jab. Perfect. Go. Go. Good job. Jab. 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 You see how, like, the importance of the jab, like, in a fight, how you can keep your distance. You know, keep that in mind. That's why it's so important. That's when, you know, I'm trying to follow through with certain strikes. Exactly. You're keeping that distance with the jab. You see? Exactly. You can even parry it out. One thing I want to show you, it's called a parry. And it's pretty much when somebody's throwing a strike out, you're going to use your gloves to parry their strike. The way this works is getting your stance, hands up. Let's say like you're throwing a jab out at me, right? That's my parry. Boom. Boom. Exactly. I'm blocking with my hands up. If we're in a stance, I'm in a fight with you, you go with the jab. Two.
Oh, two. All right.
Any of them. You get where I'm coming from? Yeah. It's called a parry. I'm controlling, you know, your strikes. Exactly. Right. And then I can follow through with what I would do. Okay, so let's work on that parry real quick. And we'll start incorporating that parry from your jab. So you go with a jab, parry. There you go. Parry. Good. Parry. Parry. It's pretty much like a block that. Parry. Parry. Okay, backhand, parry. Nope, slap it down. There you go. There you go. Jab. jab. All right, so parry, parry, jab, jab. I want to show you some blocks, okay? So let me show you some of the blocks in boxing, some of the fundamental blocks with the blocks, right? It's pretty much like a twist in, okay? So if you're throwing strikes at me, you see? Exactly, exactly. I'm twisting, pivoting, okay? But with the body, it's pretty much a shifting. So if I'm coming in, right, boom, boom, exactly. So like this, pay attention to my hips and my body. Okay.
Do a little twist.
Exactly, a little twist, and I'm absorbing your strike. Block. Block. Shift out very slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty much I'm going up high, allowing you to block, then I go down low, twist out. Up, down low. Jab, 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 block, block. You'll get it. Down, down, slow.
So when you do the head movement,
Head movement. It's very simple. It's me just shifting side to side. Yeah. And then maybe I want to step forward. You know? It's just to get my head off that line of fire. So if I throw, you see? Jab. Perfect. Perfect. See how you're twisting in with it too? Good job. Jab. 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 Slow two. Slow two. Slow two. Slow. Jab. 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 Two. Move the head a little bit. Feeling good? Exactly. Now we're starting to get into a groove. Okay? Get into a groove with me. Jab. Parry. Really, like I'm throw out a punch, like as if I'm like literally, you know, catching it down. Exactly. 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 You get it? So now we're gonna incorporate that with the blocking, with the jab and the two. Jab. Jab. Slow. Two. There you go. Two up top. Jab. Jab. Slow. Good time. At some points, we're gonna eventually get you down into pivoting under. You know? Okay. Parry. 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 Perfect. Jab. Slow two. Jab. Jab. Three. Parry. 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 Block. Perfect. Block. Block. Two. Perfect. Up top. Two. Parry. Two. Two. Jab. 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 Good job. Grab some water real quick. Jab. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 1 jab, 2, which is a straight, 3, which is a hook, 4, which is the opposite hook, 5, uppercut, 6, the opposite uppercut. So those are your main strikes. Today we're working on the 1-2 for right now. But what I can show you, I think you're going to be good at it too. It's one of my favorite strikes is a hook. Okay? And with the hook, the secret behind the hook is when you're in your stance, I told you before, all power is generated from the hips. Always from the hips. It doesn't matter if it's an elbow, if it's a punch, a kick, every single strike the power comes from the hips. So with the hook, let's say we're doing 1-2, right? Boom, boom, and then you twist with the 3. And it's literally like you're grabbing a cup of water. When I say trying to grab like a cup of water, it's like you're snatching it out. Exactly. So if you're snatching, boom, that's where you're generating power. Boom. Exactly. Not so wide, more short. Exactly. Exactly. So let me get the gloves on. 2, 3. Exactly. So bring it out. Exactly. Out a little bit more. A little bit more. Boom. Boom. Shoot. Boom. Give me the 2 power. Very simple. Go back to 2. 2. Jab, jab. Exactly. Give me the jab. Hook. 2. Start getting some combinations now. 1. Hook. There you go. And then pivot that back. Helping you take advantage of your length and, creating distance and stuff like that. Things that work for me. So, you're going to start getting used to doing this and going around in a circle, stuff like that. All right? That's how the fight works. Jab. 3. Perfect. 2. Jab. Jab. Nope. Jab. Jab. Parry. There you go. Parry. Jab. 3, 2. Jab. 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 Boom. Good. Exactly. And like I said, once again, what did you just recognize? You recognize the shift of the hip, boom, and the power coming from the hips. So somebody's throwing a strike pack, shoot, boom, right to the body. So if I go, come under, shift, boom. Doesn't mean you're always throwing it to strike the person, but more keeping it out, Exactly. Keep the distance. Use your length. Use your length. Exactly. Your biggest weapon is going to be your length. You're a tall kid, So take advantage of that. Yeah. Follow with a 2. Very slow. Come forward. Come forward. Parry. 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 Jab. And the reason I have you throwing multiple jabs is because usually in a real situation, you're going to have to keep that person off you. Move.
One thing I do notice is when I jab, I step in.
Exactly.
Like you said, keep that distance.
Yeah, keep the distance because you don't want that person near you. Your job as a tall person is to keep your enemy at bay, to keep them away from you, to clear distance. And their job, because they may be shorter than you, is to come closer. Right. They want to get on the inside of you. Slow. 2, slow. Jab. Give me the hook. Give me the jab. 2. Look, he's shifting out, starting to get used to it, getting into the groove. Like, feel me? Yeah. 1, long. Snap that out. Yep, snap that. Wow. Snap that. Wow. Perfect. Shifting your body and positioning. If somebody's coming down to my body, then I shift low. Like, let's say like you're a striker, right? Boom, depending on where you are. Exactly. Sometimes I may use my hands, but exactly. Say like the fight just started, right? So you're throwing, then like I'm trying to parry, I'm trying to clear the distance, I'm trying to figure this game out. Because as soon as that bell rings, or even in the street, I'm trying to figure you out. I'm trying to take advantage of your weaknesses. I'm trying to find out what are those weaknesses. What do you have a tendency to do? So I'm observing, I'm analyzing, I'm trying to figure out in my brain, like, okay, he keeps throwing that jab out. Okay, so then boom, maybe I want to, So it's like a sign, Boom, I'm trying to set up my trap. That's why Floyd is so good, because nobody can get into his mind. His mind is a battleground. He literally is sitting there analyzing every single move you do. And then eventually comes up with an equation. Okay, he does this, I need to do that. Me adjusting, me shifting my hips. I taught you about the twisting of the back leg, the moving out, shifting out, you know, the head movement, keeping your head off the line of fire, the fundamentals, boom. We'll play a parry game, all right? So I throw a jab and you parry. Then you throw a jab and I parry. You get it? That's the game. So just take your time and work with me. So I go, you parry. Now you go. Remember, actually slap it down, okay? Boom. So actually, I want to do 1, 2. So go, boom, boom. Now you go. Perfect. That's the game, okay? We're going to do that for about like 2 minutes. See, or even any of the other fighters as well, it doesn't matter. They always do it, whether it's they're releasing their energy, or they do what's called a ki. So you go ha ha. That's where you're generating your power. The power comes from the ki, and you're also exhaling. So you're controlling your breathing. So when we're working and stuff, not only make sure that you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, but maybe you won't even try a ki. Okay, a ki, ha 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Okay? So that's called a ki, but also there's other versions of ki, whether it's, you know? It's pretty much exhaling, and you're generating power at the same time. Okay? Then your stance. I'll go first, jab, 2, now you go. Keep the distance. You are a long guy. Gotta keep that distance, okay? Good job, Reggie. Good job. Good job. So now, let's do 1, 2, 3, and you give me 1, 2, 3. Okay? Yep. And it's the parries, the 2 parries with the hook. In the hook, you're gonna be blocking with your like this. So boom. So pretty much doom, doom, doom. You're gonna catch it.
One more time.
Okay? So you're throwing at me. Boom, boom, boom.
Gotcha.
Okay?
So that's the hook.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That's defending the hook. Parry, parry, block.
Okay, so I'm aiming for your head.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So boom, parry, parry, block. Okay? So if I go, doom, doom, doom. Okay? Go. Boom, boom, boom.
Gotcha. Okay.
There you go. First, boom.
You got some time.
Where this? Doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
You know, I have time. Doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
I have time. Doom, doom, doom. But if I do doom, 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 I have to make sure I bring it back on time. I'll get caught. Exactly.
Yep.
So for this drill, use the back arm first. Okay? Perfect. Keep that hand up. Don't drop it like that. Okay?
Yeah.
I did the first one. Okay? Time. I just want to see where your body shots were. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Yep. over time. You know, then you don't even start saying, okay, which hand do I parry with? You just naturally start exactly, you react. You know, so you got the 3s down. The last thing that I would like to end with today is I want to show you some uppercuts. Okay, yeah, keep your gloves on. So with the uppercuts, it's a 5 and a 6, and that's pretty much when you're in your stance. Shift, boom, uppercut. Shift, boom, uppercut. So I want you to pretty much go to the head with it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Boom. 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 And eventually, you'll start getting all these strikes down, and then you can even shadow box on your own. So then you'll go, okay, word, now taught me this. Come forward. Jab. Come forward. Jab. You get it? 2. He told me to twist the hips. 2, 3, 2. Then I start moving forward. 2, 3, 2. Coming forward. Moving back. Moving back. You know, moving back, moving around. Just showing you some fundamentals to enter that. Okay? So 1, up, up, 2, 3. You know? Then you start getting into the flow with all these techniques. So shift, boom. Exactly. Shift, boom, uppercut. If you come on the other side, shift to the other side, boom, uppercut. Exactly. And that one's gonna feel a little weirder because that's not your normal side. Everyone is gonna have a side that feels more natural to them than the other side. In the boxing, when you're on that southpaw stance, it may feel weird in the beginning with the left side, but through time you'll get it. Shift, boom, exactly. Shift, boom, jab. Yeah. Boom. And then shift off to the other side. Boom. Exactly. Boom. You see how you can always follow through with other techniques? Sure, sure. And then that's when you start getting into what's called combinations.